but like it'll come up on my end and I'll just ask. But hey, everybody, I'm super psyched. We have Sean, right? Or us? Why does it say OSMS?
That's my Facebook username.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so we have Sean O'Connor with a Happy Dental based out of Ireland. I'm super psyched. Before we started, you were telling a really cool story about like Facebook ads and being on the receiving end of all these stuff. And I want to keep you going. So if you could just take it from the top.
Okay, because what happens is we get people contacting us every week, 6 to 8 times a month, saying, I can do this for you. I can do this for you. And they send these really long emails. No one sends me an email saying, do you want more patients? Do you want more money? If you don't, please delete this email. Everything's all, I can do this and I can do this, but you've got to come up with a special offer. You have to do this. And, and it's like, doing special offers attracts a specific type of patient. And those patients are like tire kickers. They'll go once to this clinic, once to this clinic. Oh, look, they're doing an offer on this here. They're doing an offer on this here, and they move around.
Yep.
So we've found with what we've done over the last 3.5 years here in Ireland is we started a business from scratch as a dental clinic with one dentist.
Yep.
With a good, solid offer for the market. We researched the market. We came up with a good, solid offer. We did the offer. We've maintained it. And that's enabled us to grow a business from zero with one dentist to now we have 3 dentists.
Okay.
Moving forward all the time and being driven 90% by Facebook.
So cool.
And I mean, I'm useless at Facebook. I really, when it comes to doing ads and stuff like that, I've learned. I've watched your stuff. I've watched other people. I've listened. I've learned. And I've sort of taught myself as I've gone along. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like 3 or 4. Got a long way to go. But I'm willing to learn. So I'm different because I'm a business owner who's doing it himself. And I've got people trying to sell me stuff. But every time they come and try and sell me stuff, it's always, well, you have to do a really good special offer or a freebie or, I'm more interested in focusing on professional dentists, quality of care, affordable prices, because the market here in Ireland is exactly the same as the market in the United States. Well, actually, it's actually worse here. Mm-hmm. Here, there's no, it's all it's everything's private. There's no government, services to do with dentistry per se. So everything's private. So it's a very competitive market.
So it's super competitive. It's very private. You've got people that are like, they're price sensitive. Like they don't have like a huge disposable income and all that fun stuff, right? So like, can you go on?
No, because the other problem you have here, I don't know if it's happened so much I'm sure you do have in the States because I used to live there. They're very negative towards the dentists here because as far as they're concerned, they're being ripped off at every turn.
Yeah.
All the time. Anyway, rip off. Cheaper to go abroad. You get in the States, you get cheaper to go to Mexico, cheaper to go to Mazatlan, cheaper to go here, so we're competing against that because here in Ireland, everybody thinks it's cheaper to go to Hungary.
Yeah.
And it's not. By the time you add the flights, the hotels, the time off work, if there's a problem, you've got to go back there, and this is what I'm pitching in my Facebook posts, because I boost a lot of posts. I do ads, and I sort of pitch ads saying, one of them, which is really successful for us, and we rerun different worded, is that going abroad is always cheaper. No,
right.
It's not. And here's why. And click through to the page that explains why. And that lets people, we try and, I do my best to just inform people. On our Facebook pages, Happy Dental, Dental Implants Ireland, we post Dental Implants Ireland. I haven't posted on for a while, but because it's the summer, it's quiet. But Happy Dental, normally we post 4 or 5 posts a day.
Yeah.
All linking to the website. And each post, not boosted, gets 5, 6, 10 clicks. People go through, they ask questions, they message. And that's what Facebook has been so good for us, because we've taken a business, we've started with nothing and we built that business up, as I say, 95% primarily with Facebook interactions.
So was that your strategy when it came to that customer research based ad? or is this like a totally new like environment? You've always been doing these posts, but now you did an ad. So what was like your thought process behind that?
Well, we always boosted posts because up until about a year, I would say about a year and a half ago, whenever we did ads, they just didn't get the responses that the posts did. They didn't get you didn't get the comments, you didn't get the click-throughs, and it was very expensive. Whenever I did an ad, I always found it compared to a boosted post. Like if I boost a post for say $10 a day on Dental Implants Ireland, I know over a 7-day period, I'm going to generate something in the region of 300, 400 click-throughs to the website, you know? So it's not really that really easy and trackable, but it works, you know, because you're talking about big ticket items. It's not an instant gratification sale. It's sort of a slow burn, and the posts keep going. And the more that people interact with the post, the more the posts get spread. And I found that far more effective than the ads.
Right, but that was up to about a year ago, and then something changed, right? Like you weren't getting the results, or you wanted better results, or did Facebook do a thing?
No, I started watching people like yourself, you know, and I started looking at what you guys are doing, and you know, did some research, spent some more time on it because I'm very good at writing content. So when it comes to writing websites and all that, so I'm good at that sort of stuff. I don't think dentistry works with ClickFunnels that well, because we ran a little thing over Christmas last year in 2017, and huge response. You know, 167 leads, phenomenal. Problem was, out of 167 leads, we got about 75 appointments with an 80% no-show rate.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's when it really went to me. You know, ClickFunnels really just, you know, it's just tire kickers. You know, as a dentist, you know, as a dental company, it's better to have a reasonable offer running on Groupon in the background. If you want tire kickers, you know, you run a Groupon, you get 5-6 patients a week like that, and that's great. But if you run a special offer like a free teeth whitening or a discount scale and polish or this and this and this, I find you get a lot of tire kickers.
But you didn't have that problem with the ad that you ran, right? Like your approach was like customer research driven, charge a normal price and get people coming in. And you stepped away from like the standard, like in the US, it's like the $21 special, like, you know, cleaning, x-rays, examination, which is really just like, it's a pitch meeting you pay for so they can like find more work, right? But you did something different. So the big problem with that, when you say like you pay for somebody, right? The big problem with that, is that the patient comes in and goes into the chair with the dentist. That's your big problem right there. Yep. That's very expensive.
No, you know, the patient sees them, goes, thanks very much, and leaves. Why is it a problem that he sees the dentist?
Is it simply because like that dentist is expensive? That's what I assumed, right? Or no?
No. Interesting. The dentist can't sell.
Oh.
Because it's not in their remit. It's not their remit. They don't sell. So, you know, patients come in through those tire kicker deals and they can't sell. It's not their skill set.
Yeah.
So we've got to do the selling before the patient arrives. That's one of the big things. You see, like when guys are going to talk to dentists and they're pitching the ideas and everything, it's really difficult because dentists are very intelligent people, very well educated, but when it comes to sales, they're as thick as a plank. You know, my wife is the lead dentist here, and she owns both clinics, and she's the lead dentist, and all she does is dental implants.
Right.
And she's a great dentist. You know, does 300 or 400 implants here. Great dentist. Not a salesperson.
Right.
So I had to train the staff to sell.
So what I'm understanding is that like the biggest mistake with that $21 normal everyday offer is that you are, and as like the agency, putting the dentist in a position where they have to sell. And guess what? It's almost impossible for a dentist to sell. That's not in their skill set. They spent 6 years learning how to do dentist, and now I ask them to be a salesperson. So as an agency owner, what can what ads should we run? What conversation should it be? Should we say we're going to train your staff? Is it the ad? Like how do we solve that problem, right?
Definitely. You need to be saying to them, look, we'll come in, we'll do some staff training, because really, I mean, now the staff, from the moment that people walk through the door, they'll go in and see the dentist will do the scale and, you know, we offer free consultations for all treatments.
Yeah.
To be competitive in the market. The patient comes in for a free checkup. The dentist says, you know, you need this, you know, and then the patient walks out the door. But no, now the patient is walked out by the nurse, then goes to reception, and they start talking about a new appointment. You know, so did you want to, you know, how did you want to proceed? Did you want to do the fillings first? Did you want to do the crowns? What's the, you know, and that's so. And I've also slowly taught the dentists how to sell, not a hard sell, but enough to say, well, you know what? Here's where we are. You know, you've had your free checkup. This is urgent. This is midterm. This is long term.
Yeah.
Urgent, you need 3 fillings. Over the next 6 to 9 months, you really need to think about a crown. And that's now the sales pitch, but they're not selling. They're just simply identifying the problems. We call it a patient clarity report. There's the problems. This is what's happening. Now it's up to you to make a decision. But they don't make the decision with the dentist. They make the decision with the nurse or the implant coordinator or with the smile coordinator.
So after the dentist is done working, there's a patient clarity report, and then the patient, and I guess you could say front desk have that.
Well, yeah, sort of like what'll happen is, you know, the nurses with the dentist, and they'll do the patient clarity report in rough. They'll come out. One of them, the nurse will come out to reception and say, "I need a report on this with the following scale. You know, requires 3 fillings, a crown, this. They'll print all that up. They'll take it back in. They'll go through it with them. Thank you very much." And the nurse is doing that more than the dentist.
Yeah.
And it's things like that. But again, it's again like using the Facebook ads. We tell people what a clarity report is. We tell them, if you need a crown, the crown is X.
Yeah.
What's the difference between our €400 crown and a crown that's 700? Nothing. The price. That's the only difference. You know, and you work, and this is where, again, staying away from the get something free ads. You know, I've really pushed away from that and just really focused on, you know, a crown is this much, a 3-unit bridge is this much, a dental implant post and crown is this much. It's affordable, you know, highly professional, all the work done in one place, you know, all that sort of stuff. And that's what you keep pushing out to people. I've found has been more effective than running ads like, you know, have a teeth whitening, you know, do this and get a free teeth whitening and all this sort of stuff. It's, you know, I've found by pushing the professionalism has been far more effective. If you want to get go on.
So I was going to say, I bucket that into like a professional sales process. Like the sales process will always beat your ads time and time again, because like essentially the ads will get people in there, but either the dentist is being told to sell, which he doesn't know how to do. The patient is walking out without the patient clarity report, and you're letting someone leave without having the opportunity to pay you money to solve their problems. And so has that been the biggest change between businesses who are successful and who aren't? Is that what you've been seeing? Or is there like some magical difference between like dentists that have 3 locations and make enough ton of money and dentists that don't? Is it their sales process, or is it like they don't know how to do Facebook ads, or is it something like that I don't even know about?
Okay. If you want to have more locations, to be honest, a lot of the time it's just investment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've owned companies over the years. You know, I've never worked for anybody. I've started my own companies when I was 17, and that's how I've always been. So if you want to open up a load of locations, you go to the bank and you go to investors, you take the money in and you do it that way and hope you can show. That's that. So we've built our clinics based on what we want to manage.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, the brand is good. The brand works. No doubt about that. We've been approached about that, but we're happy where we are at the moment. But the sales process is the hardest part, and that's where you've got to get the staff involved. Because, you know, if you just have people pumping through the door all day long, they're not going to convert to sales. They're going to say, well, why did I pay all that money to get an ad run and I got loads of people in and I didn't get anything?
Gotcha. You know, what's funny is I had a dentist in North Miami, probably like 45 minutes north, They paid
Okay.
$2,000. It was like a whole thing. I said, you're going to get 30 customer opportunities, phone calls, rings, all that stuff. And they did. They got one phone call a day every day for like 42 days. And guess what? They didn't pick up the phone. When I did sneaky surveys, people walked out without even talking to a nurse. The dentist was trying to sell, which he didn't know how to do, which made him worse at being a dentist. And the end result was the business or the structure. We had to fix the infrastructure first, and all ads did was make the problems more obvious. And so that was like a big learning, and that's exactly what you're talking about. But for everybody just watching, this is Sean O'Connor. His most recent Facebook ad, he did customer research first, and spent 500 euros in ads, got 60 leads, 40 appointments, and it was at 90K in revenue. Is that estimated? Is that collected?
No, that's the revenue.
Oh, that's just
that's just the revenue. No, what it was is we've launched an orthodontic service.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a specialist orthodontist who's joined us, who's going to join us 1 day a week. Right. So he joined us the last week in May. As of today, so what are we in? So you're talking about from a standing start in the last week in May, going into June, July, August. So up until that, we've never mentioned orthodontics, never done anything. No, 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So he came in on the 21st of May and started really like the first Monday in June. From then to now, he's closed 35 patients.
Awesome.
And that's from a standing start purely with Facebook.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic.
Purely Facebook. By him he realized that he needed, because he's new, he's not, if you're well known in orthodontics after 10 or 12 years, you can charge what you like.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. It's actually 48 completed. But the point is that no one knew who he was. He realizes he's got to produce an offer that's reasonable, that's worth it for him. But then we've got to deliver we've got the offer, now we've got to deliver the patient. So it's great having an offer, but now you've got to deliver the right sort of patients. So that's when we took what you were talking about and what I learned from you about ask the barriers, find out what keeps people from it, and we wrote the ads based around those. I wrote the ads based around those. And it was really a case of, look, this is an offer. There's only limited spaces because it is a ridiculously good offer.
Yeah.
But this is where we are. And then we did the targeting, like when you were talking about like targeting the audiences and stuff like that. Who makes the decision? Who makes the buying decision for orthodontics, the braces? Most of the time it's mum.
Yeah.
Then she goes home and they tell dad, by the way, dad, you got to pay for this.
Yep.
But then what we did, we changed the dynamic of the deal. And instead of the whole process being spread out over 18 months of payments, diagnostics, bond up, paid. That's it. And that was why the offer was so strong, because you had to pay it all there and then.
Gotcha.
And that's very different, because then people say, oh, no, we really want a payment plan. If you want a payment plan, no problem. The price is now 1,500 euros more, 1,000 euros more. No, this is a specific tailored offer for this, and it had value. And it's a big ticket item.
Yeah.
But the patients you had to get the patients. We got the patients. We had the right sort of patients. We had a no-show rate of less than 7%.
Absolutely nuts. Right?
So they came in. At least 10 to 15 of the patients were referred to the government dental service because the cases were that severe. We had a fixed price. We had consultations originally were 1 day a week. We had such amount of coming in. He then increased to 2 days a week. And this is inside the first 6 weeks. He's gone from 1 day a week because a lot of orthodontists work in a couple of clinics.
Yeah.
And he was seeing more patients in our clinic in 1 day than he was seeing in the other clinic in 4 days.
Yeah.
And it was, again, all down to Facebook and the Facebook ads being written, using the formulas you talk about, using the formulas you show and stuff like that, and really packaging it up and then putting my own part on it.
Yeah.
And then using the ads, marketing the ads to the specific audience, and again, cutting down the zone. Instead of like going 25 miles, we cut it down to like 8 miles, 6 miles.
Yep.
But 6 miles in Dublin's a million people.
Yep.
Dublin's not a very big place.
Yep.
A lot of competition, but now the offer's actually finishing off next week, next Friday. The offer will finish out, and we had to extend it. We were only going to do a limited amount, but we had to extend it. But now we've changed the ads, increased the price, and we've still got the consultations.
So let me better understand this correctly.
Okay.
You've got an orthodontist. You're like, great, this is going to work. We need to fill this orthodontist's schedule because you're paying this orthodontist. Makes no sense to have him just there. You got to utilize the time, right? And you said, I need an offer that's going to make people come in. And you didn't say.
I said to him, I need an offer that you're comfortable with.
Gotcha.
That you're comfortable with, that makes revenue that you're happy with. And he came with a price, and I said to him, well, look, if we can do this price, which was about 10% less, I said, but all payment is up front. It was like, he said, that's unheard of in orthodontics. I said, I know, but if all the payment's up front, are you happy? And he was like, well, yeah, because I don't have to wait 18 months for all my money.
Okay, so I thought, so this is new for me. So I guess the orthodontist and the owner of the practice, the dental company, they split or they share or something like that. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Got it. Okay. So now this orthodontist who's invested his time, effort, energy is realizing that like the owner of the business cares about what he thinks, has come up with an offer that he's willing to do. And then you said, look, if we cut it by 10% and collect everything up front, are you okay with that? And he says, yes. And then you kind of run it on Facebook, or was there more to that process?
No, just we did it on Facebook. We did predominantly Facebook ads. Let's think, Facebook ads, boom, boom, boom. 1, 2. We had 2, maybe 3 different ads running. Yeah. No more than $6 to $8 a day per ad.
Yeah.
Targeted it no more than, I think we did 6 miles from the clinic. So it was quite a small area compared to what we advertised for dental implants. We boosted a couple of posts, and but the ads were effective. Again,
absolutely fantastic.
Using that ask table, is that what you call it?
Yeah, it's the ask method. For anybody watching, I always try to give credit. So I learned how to do custom Facebook ads using from this guy. And for anybody just tuning in, Sean took the customer research mini module, and he owns a dental practice, had an orthodontist, ran customer research within, I guess you could say, that area, discovered reasons why people are afraid of going to a dentist or buying orthodontic services, roadblocks, problems that they have, what they hate, what they tried. And using that, you pre-tested your ads, and you ended up getting like huge number. Just 60 leads alone for $500 is pretty fair. But you also had like a rock solid like follow through, things like that. Or did people just call a scheduled appointment, or what was that process like from leads to appointments?
Well, we did it 2 ways. We ran MailChimp as a landing page.
Yep.
That collected 116, still collecting now, 116, 118. We ran lead forms on Facebook.
Yep.
That generated 140. And emails on top of that, and messages through Facebook. That's how we generated the leads. And that was it. There was no Google ads. There was no. I got to admit, I found that the MailChimp landing page was very effective, more effective than the lead forms.
Interesting. You know what? You know what's so funny about all this? Like, once you figure out what works, you realize it's just darn simple. Like, complicated stuff rarely works. You literally just had an offer that was competitive, an offer that worked, an orthodontist that was like incentivized to like do this type of stuff. And wait, so before we go into that, like, so somebody fills out the form, name, number, and email, and then you call them, or they call you, or how did that work?
We call them.
Gotcha. And you call them like the same day, or like, is there a structured process?
What we would do is, so end of business. So first thing every morning, open up what leads came in over the night, call them.
Yeah.
And do it. We did it. We left it. And we said on it, we would call you, either the next business, within the next business day. So over the weekend, you get about 15 of them. So on the Monday, we'd put a spread, we'd go to MailChimp, copy everything across and go, right, call, email, email, call, email. Thank you for your inquiry. We've still got spaces available. Please call us urgently to book, not urgently, please call us to book your child's, your son or daughter's free consultation with our specialist orthodontist. Yep. Kept it simple. And it works. And that's like, now I'm sitting there thinking, well, tell you what, now what I want to do when I run my ads on Facebook or boost my post, because I use a link in that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have squeeze pages or landing pages on the Happy Dental site. So if you click on the link about the crown, it'll take you through to the page where all the information's about the crown. It looks like the website page, but now you can leave your name and number and we'll call you.
Yep.
We'll call you for your free dental crown consultation. So yep. do it for that, do it for bridges, do it for whatever. Have a landing page for specific things. You want to book a free checkup, click here, boom. I would never let people book online.
Interesting. Is there a specific reason for that?
I think you'll get a lot of people just book stuff and never show up. So I've never had it. At one point, we use a management system for managing the dentist and the appointments in both the clinics. And this particular management system added something into the email we didn't know about, which was click here to cancel your booking. So the patient alerts are going out the day before. So there you are, Thursday, Friday, the schedule is full for dentist A. You come in the following morning and all of a sudden, hang on a second.
Everybody canceled. 6
patients have canceled. How did that happen? No one took a call. Then we found it was in the email that was going out from the booking system. So we removed that because, it was, so there's no way I'd let anybody book online. I think it's very risky.
Gotcha.
And people say, we'll take a deposit. If you're offering a free consultation, where's the reason for taking $10, $15, $25 deposit? There's no, so no, I would stay away from, I would never let people book online. It just wouldn't work for me.
So the ad that you ended up making $90K in revenue, and for anybody just tuning in, I want to make sure that this is like a rare case. He has a sales process in check, got the patient clarity report, the orthodontist was signed up, a competitive offer, and all that. So like all the things that make something successful was built before he launched an ad. It's just like you turned on an ad, money shot out of your butt. But that's what everybody thinks, so I say it that, right? So the ad itself, was it simply like, hey Miami, sick and tired of, we're doing something amazing? Or was it a free consultation? Or what was that? What was the bones of that ad?
The bones of the ad was right. I'm talking to you. So if I move screens, will I lose everything?
No, I'm still looking at you. You're good.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm just going to cheat now, and I'm going to go into my ad manager on Facebook, which loads very quickly because I use it so much.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to try and I'm just going to find the ad so I can read it to you so that you can, I said, don't show that again.
And for anybody just tuning in, this is Sean. He runs 3 dental offices.
2.
Say again?
2.
Oh, 2 dental offices, sorry.
2 dental offices. One in Ireland, one in Romania.
Gotcha. Very cool. And he's had a massive success. He actually used customer research to pre-test his ads before they launch, discover why people don't want to buy orthodontic services, use that in conjunction with a new orthodontist who knew he had to be competitive, and ended up turning $500 in ads into a huge number of leads with a huge number of, I guess you could call it like show up rate, and a huge number of revenue and things like that. So it's absolutely amazing.
Okay, so basically the ad's running like this, affordable orthodontic treatment in Dublin with a orthodontic specialist. Children's offer, €2,200 for full upper and lower braces. Full payment in advance. Full payment on bond up.
Yeah.
So, that's just keeping it nice and clear for them so they know what the whole thing is. And when they book in and we send them an email confirming that you booked in, great. And here's how it works. You have your free consultation. Then, if your child's assessed as being suitable to move to having braces, You will then be invited in for a diagnostics treatment, which is 250 euros.
Mm-hmm.
Once the diagnostic treatment has been done and the treatment plan has been formed, your child will be invited in to have the braces bonded up, and that's when the rest of the money is due. End of story. And it works. People like it because it's a good, solid offer.
Fantastic.
And that's the most important part, is that it was a good, solid offer. The dentist, the orthodontist, was happy because he realized he's got to, make himself known.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where it goes. And you've got to work with them. But when you're doing the ads, I would say to a dentist all the time now, if I was going to go and pitch a dentist now, I'd be saying to him, look, what are your prices? Okay, those are your prices. Let's focus on late opening, Saturdays, professionalism, high quality, all these sorts of things I would find. That's what I would be pitching now, and because that's what I pitch now. I wouldn't go into them and say, "Oh, I need a special offer or a free teeth whitening or something." No, because there's a lot of people. You've got to focus on professionalism. Ideally, if the dentist can give you something, that's, like 10% off a crown, mm-hmm. or if he charges for a consultation, I tell you what, this month, let's do 25 free consultations, and see how they go, and see how, maybe that's the barrier, and again, doing the research, your ask research, what's the barrier to entry for his patients already?
Interesting. So let's shift the conversation to what you just mentioned, which is like, as a solo agency owner trying to like get dentists to like pay me money, right? Like, are there very often like obvious and clear mistakes that people are making? Like, and you're on their receiving end of pitches all the time, right? So like, can you go into like pitches at work that don't, offers at work that don't, like, as somebody watching this live trying to grow their agency, what mistake are they making time and time again type thing?
A lot of it is the emails are too big.
Yeah.
And cold calling on email, I don't think is that great. I look at the emails. To be honest, I'm different because I'm not a dentist. I'm involved with the mechanics of the business. I see the emails. Mm-hmm. But if the principal of the dentist is the principal dentist is doing dentistry still, the person seeing the emails is going to be his clinic manager, his office manager, and 90% of the time they're just going to go delete, 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 delete. Yep. So one of the things I would get across to them is, do you want more patients, or do you want more revenue? And try and word it in such a way that doesn't sound so brutal. But really, that's what you're going in to say, is that, do you want more patients? Do you want more money? If you don't, see ya.
So is it?
And if they say no, they're lying.
Yeah.
No one's going to, if you go into something, I suggested to somebody if I was doing it now, I might even do like an A4 card. Yeah. And print on it and have it printed saying, do you want more revenue? Do you want more patients? If not, please throw me in the garbage. If you do, please turn over. And come in and say, I'd walk into a clinic and say, is the clinic manager about? Yeah. Oh, she's very busy. Well, I'll tell you what, do me a favor. And I'd put it in an A4 envelope saying clinic manager. And I'd say, please, if you just give us that to read, I'd appreciate it. Yeah. And when she opens it and reads that, if she throws it in the garbage, she's throwing the dentist's money away.
Yeah.
She'd be hard pushed not to at least do something. What she's going to do with it, I don't know. But, something like that. Because how can you walk into any business and say, look, I'll help you get more customers. Mm-hmm. Those customers will make you more money. You will pay me a fee for that. But overall, you will be in profit.
Yeah.
How can you say no to that?
So one of the biggest mistakes you're saying that agency owners make is like they have very long emails that don't have this like obvious, maybe like brutalness and explicitness. Like, do you want more patients or revenue? No. Okay, bye. Like that's kind of okay, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Really, I mean, do you want more patients? No, please delete me. Fine. Yeah. Again, it's being brutal, unfortunately, in marketing is really what you've got to do.
Yeah.
with the ads, being all fluffy and stuff like that. No, you've got to be quite brutal about the ad. A crown is this much.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a crown at 400 euros at our clinic and a crown at 700 euros somewhere else? Nothing, except the price. We are more affordable. That's it. You want a dental implant? We do a dental implant post and crown for 1,249.
Yeah.
That's the price. It doesn't include bone. It doesn't include this. It doesn't include that. It is this. Boom, boom, boom. You want to go abroad? Go abroad. It's more expensive.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you get a chance, and if anybody gets a chance, go look at Dental Implants Ireland. Go look at some of the posts. Go read some of the comments. I mean, the comments and the abuse we get is unbelievable. You're robbers, you're thieves, you're scum, I'm telling you.
Interesting.
Because they all say, because again, it's about the brutality of it. Here it is. This is the price. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not it's fixed. A PFM crown is this much. End of story.
So what happens when you run? So what happens when you run those types of ads? People can make a decision. They can say yes or no, right?
Yeah. That's the point. They can make a decision. If you want more information, click here or call here.
Yeah.
We'll help you. That's it.
So the first biggest mistake that agency owners make is not being brutal and honest with saying, like, do you want more money? Do you want more money? More revenue?
Yeah.
Is there a number two reason, thing that they keep messing up?
Number two, I think, again, trying to be too fancy. Trying to re-educate, re-educate or trying to educate. Here's, you go in, so if someone comes to me and says, well, I'm going to run Facebook ads. And through that, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get leads and telephone numbers and email addresses. And what you need to do in your clinic is pick up the phone and call them. If you're not going to do that, I'm not going to waste my time. Because it's really, generating the leads is great, but if the clinic is not picking up the phone and calling those clients or calling and emailing those clients, the lead is not worth the paper it's written on. And that's for me, again, you've got to be brutal with, when you're in.
Or the second biggest mistake of this internet is being. So would you say the number? Go for it.
Okay. The biggest mistake is that when you get the client, when you're talking to them face to face and you say, look, your staff have got to do this. I will put the effort in. I will generate the leads. I will get people coming, through the lead generation or through the squeeze page or whichever way you're going on that. But your staff have to follow up. Mm-hmm. If they don't, I'm wasting your time. I'm wasting my time. And I've got more important things to do than waste my time. Again, if someone comes to me and is selling to me like that, I'm going to listen. Do you know what I mean? Some people will say, no, you're rude, you're offensive or whatever. But, facts don't lie. If you get 50 leads a day and no one calls them, it's
a waste.
What's the point? Well, exactly. That's the whole point. So as they come through, we call. Every morning we check. We've got leads on. We've got lead forms coming through from Facebook. We've got leads coming through on. We've got leads coming through on MailChimp. We've got leads coming through on Olark, and we're checking the messages on our phone. So we've got 4 separate places that have to be checked, and they have to be all done every morning religiously.
Yeah.
And then we got to check the fake. We check. I mean, a lot of the Facebook stuff I answer up until about 10 or 11 o'clock at night because it's on my phone. So I keep just answering. I've got all the pages on there, so I just keep answering the thing. But I still have to remind myself in the morning to go back and go, oh, I've got to call this person who left their name and number last night. So you got 5 different sources. And if you're doing that and you're not calling them, there's no point advertising in the first place.
It's like a gym membership without going to the gym.
Yep, been there, done that.
Everybody has. So are there certain, you've been doing Facebook ads for a while, the dance a little bit. Are there certain things that dentists, like ad agencies that want to do business with dentists, things they should be saying, things they should be using? I know they should be saying, do you want more patients? Do you want more customers? Do you want more clients and revenue? Yes, great, let's talk. But is there something else that they should be doing that makes you say yes and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to help teach you. I'll come and do sales training with your staff. I'll teach them the ABC. I'll write them. I'll help them with a script. I'll get them to the patient process. Go and sit in the clinic for half a day and watch the patient process. Because if you're a Facebook ad agency guy or woman, you're a salesperson. So if you sit in a clinic and you sit there and you watch patients go in and patients go out, and you can say, well, why didn't somebody speak to them? Or why didn't somebody? You can spot where the patients are not being spoken to. Patient to our clinic here. How are you? Welcome. Good to see you, Mrs. Jones. Your appointment will be in a few minutes. Please take a seat. Have a magazine. By the way, if you like the magazine, take it with you. They go in to see, then the nurse comes out, takes the patient in. How are you? Good. Boom. Finish off. Before the end of the appointment, the nurse comes out. This is what we need the clarity report for. Boom, boom, boom. That goes back in. The patient comes out. Again, reception's talking to them. Oh, you've got your clarity report. Is there anything you wanted to discuss, or is there anything you needed to know, or can we help you with anything? Oh, you want to make your next appointment to begin the process. Thank you very much. So that patient's gone from a free checkup to now being a patient.
Interesting.
And these things are not being done in a lot of dental offices, and it's been trial and error. A lot of it.
I think one of the bigger mistakes that ad agencies make is thinking that they only do Facebook ads, but they really don't. Their goal is to get the end result. And very often their value add is saying, great, these ads are going to be how we're checking that sales process. And I've sat in dentist offices and as like a client and a customer, and I'm waiting for a conversation. And like, if there was an agency guy there saying, this is why you're not making money, I'll bet that dentist fixed it. Sometimes he doesn't know. And that's because dentists their technical skill sets, they're good at that. But as agency owners, sometimes we say, you got to sell. And guess what? They're not. They need somebody to show them how to do it. And that's often like the nurse or the front desk or something like that. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Exactly. Because when they come, go.
I was going to say, for anybody watching this, now's the time to ask questions. Sean's like coming to the end of his workday, but he's promised us an extra 15 minutes. So if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, how we turned $500 in ads and 60 appointments, 40 leads and 90K in revenue, the mistakes that he is seeing with agencies that want pitch dentists, now's the time. Great, horrible. My internet is being horrible.
Yeah, it is. It's gone all weird.
Yeah. We have a question. Somebody says, how are you doing your targeting? So like, are you just targeting everybody, men, women, income? How is that working for you?
Depends. Like, for example, if we're targeting veneers, we will probably target more women than men. Implants, we will target across the board. Orthodontics will target mums. So we'll be looking at sort of mum range, because the child has to be 11, child has to be 11. So, you start your ages at about 27, 28 for the women, up to probably the mid 50s for the grandmothers to keep, crowns, stuff like that. Again, for that across the board, if I'm talking about dental implant retained dentures, again, across the board, probably slanted more towards men than women.
Gotcha. Are those like your 3 best offers that you're using consistently bring people in? Like, you're targeting? No, it's not.
No. We keep, we do a free checkup, free consultations for treatments. Because a lot of the barriers is a lot of clinics, or some clinics, they charge €40 just to walk through the door to have a checkup. So you go in, you have a checkup, and the dentist goes, "Yeah, everything's great, bye." And it's like, But if you come in for a free checkup, it's only like 15, 20 minutes. But comes in, the patient doesn't feel scared. It takes away that barrier, which is, it's going to cost me money to go there. It's not going to cost me to go there. It's a no obligation, consultation. I'm not obligated to take treatment. I'm not obligated to do anything. That's it. That really seems to make patients more comfortable.
Yeah, and when they're comfortable, they're going to buy from you, but only if that sales process is in place. So
Correct.
in that $500 NADs, you're talking about free consultation or free check-in for orthodontics or something like that. Correct?
You got a free consultation with your special orthodontic specialist who would examine your child, your son or your daughter, and let you know whether they're suitable for treatment or not suitable for treatment.
Absolutely fantastic. Was there a specific training you took as a dentist or as a dentalist owner? Sorry, yeah. As like a dental practice owner to understand that sales process?
Yeah, I take the training from my wife.
Okay, that works.
I tell her what my ideas are, and she sort of stands there and looks at me like I'm an idiot.
And then you know if it works or not.
And then I know whether I'm right or wrong. And then slowly but surely, my wife decides what's right and wrong. And, over the last 10, 12 years, we've built a relationship about what happens in her business. Because it is her business. I do the marketing, and that's it. I get involved in the sales process, the marketing, and that's what I do. So
Gotcha.
that's why I'm similar to the guys who are Facebook, because I still have to run things past Dr. O'Connor.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say to her,
I like that.
I do, but I have to say to her, I want to run this sort of ad. I want to run this sort of, this is what, and it's like, maybe, I don't know. I don't like it, but I know, but part of that is what drove me over to the professionalism side.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the professionalism, focus on the care, focus on the quality. That's what pushed me that way, because I was watching everybody else going, I'll do a special offer this, do a special offer that. And then, I've got her explaining to me, it's great to do a special offer, but in actual fact, at $21, that probably costs the dentist another $21 to $25 on top, if not more. Because, even just for like a scale and polish, they do a scale and polish for $21, right? Material, tools, nurse, dentist, electricity, wear and tear, unit. I know it sounds silly, but when you start adding all that up, because then after the tools have been used, they've got to be sterilized and reset. The clinic has to, the clinic office has to be reset. Some more tools are brought out, this. So we lose 30 minutes for $21. It starts to cost a lot more. And that was what my wife explained to me, is it's like, oh, it's a great idea, get loads of patients in. Yeah, but I'm getting patients in that are paying me $21, for example, but it's costing me another 21 on top. And they've come in and they've gone, and I'm like,
And that's where that sales process matters a lot, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
That's where it comes down to pitching it to the right, finding something in the clinic that's a good, solid deal. But you got to teach the staff to be always be closing. They don't have to be hard pitching, but just, oh, by the way, here's our price list. By the way, here's this. Just to, stuff. You've got to just sort of engage with the patient from the moment they walk in the door to the moment they leave.
Very cool. We got another question right here. How do you get a meeting with the decision maker at the dental practice?
You've got to, it's difficult because it comes down to who is the decision maker. Is it the principal dentist, or is it the principal dentist and the clinic manager? So I would say your best thing to do is you've got to come up with something that's going to get you with the clinic manager, because the clinical manager is the person who's going to yay or nay you to the principal. Like I say, with the A4 card, you drop that in and get it to the clinic manager. It's a lot easier to get the clinical manager's name and information than it is to find out who the principal is.
Gotcha.
And if you've got the clinical manager's name, then you can start to speak to her, contact her, work her, because 95% of the time the clinical manager is a woman. It is a female-dominated industry.
Yeah.
On this side of the, on the nursing side, on the reception side, it is a female-dominated, industry. So you've got to come up with something that will catch her eye. And, like I say, the A4 in the envelope with the Does your clinic want more patients? If not, throw me in the garbage. You know, things like that. You know, you've got to come up with a bit of wit, bit of je ne sais quoi. You got to come up with something that's just to get the person interested. Mm-hmm. Once they're interested, then you can start to move forward with them. So you've got to, you know, the key is getting the clinical manager on side. Gotcha. That would be your first key.
Somebody asked a question: do you offer a continuity program to keep those who come in for the $21 deal? Just for some context, we're not really talking about a $21 deal, but if you were running a $21 deal, how do you get those people coming back consistently, paying you consistently, that type of idea? That's a continuity program.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
People, I would say a very high percentage of the people who do a $21, who buy a $21 deal or looking for that, they are what we call tire kickers. They will buy deals for anything. Yep. They'll go to your clinic this month. 6 months from now, they'll go to another clinic at $21. They'll go somewhere else. There's no loyalty in that. What you've got to do is you've got to come up with the reasons for those people to come to your clinic, and just giving them discounts is not. It's not it looks impressive because you get all of a sudden you go, oh look, all these leads and all these people, great. But over Christmas we ran a program and we had 147, 75 booked appointments. 85% didn't show up.
Horrible.
Didn't call, just didn't show. And if you called them, this was what really got the clinical manager going. Oh, she was screaming. Called them. Hi, this is Happy Dental. So you missed your, boom, they put the phone down on her.
Huh.
And then blocked her number. So it's just like, so what was the point of making the appointment with them in the first place?
So here's what I think is kind of interesting. So most dentists have done Facebook ads, right? And correct. I would argue that they've somewhat been approached by a $21 offer. So they know that conversation. They know that clinical manager is saying every time we do a $21 offer, everybody's angry. So as an ad agency coming in saying, we'll run ads for you, here's a $21 offer, the dentist immediately goes, hold up, we've tried that and it sucks, right? So as an agency owner, it's really up to me to say, we're going to get people in your clinic with an offer that's fair, that makes sense. But more importantly, we're going to make sure that your sales processes are in place so that people aren't walking out. Instead, they're getting an opportunity to spend money with you. And I think that's what stands out and what makes dentists want to sign on. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, of course. That's the whole key, is that if you come in and say, look, I do Facebook ads and I don't want to run a special offer.
Yes.
What I want to do is I want to identify with you where your patients are, what you think your patients need, and then I want to build a campaign around that and deliver you the patients that you want who want to be here. And then while we're doing that, I'll teach your staff, I'll help train your staff, I'll inform your staff how to be more how to be more sales orientated. Because, with experience, we know dentists cannot sell. They couldn't sell, I don't know what, they just can't sell. 99% of them cannot sell. Just can't do it.
So we should just stop asking them to sell.
Yeah, if you keep asking them, it's not going to happen. It really isn't, because dentistry is just not their remit. Their remit is to be a medical professional.
Yep.
And if you say to a dentist, just mention this offer or mention this or mention that, and he's like, excuse me, I'm a dentist. I've got 15 years experience, 10 years training because I'm a specialist in oral surgery. I'm not going to start selling. It's not my job. So you got all that to deal with. So you've got to take that away from the dentist and bring it to the front office. And as an ad agency, you've got to be doing the selling to the clients for them. So when the client arrives or the patient arrives into the clinic, they know what they're there for. They know why they've come. And that is a value customer. And that's what we've done here at Dental in Ireland. Started at 0 patients, found an offer, a reasonable offer that the dentist was happy with, built that offer, and then built the practice around it while maintaining the other practice in Romania. And that's what it's all about, bringing value to the patients, bringing value to the clinic, and then it can be slow and it can be painful. But then when it starts to roll, it really starts to roll in the right direction.
Very cool. We're coming up to the end of the hour. I want to ask you, Sean, would you be okay with giving away like three 15-minute strategy sessions to 3 people on this stream where they get to have a follow-up with you and figure out what their campaigns are doing, what they're not, why stuff is working, why it's not? It's totally up to you to take it. It's just 3 15-minute sessions at a separate time.
I tell you what, if it's at a separate time, because I got my 10-year-old daughter standing over there. I go, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll give you 5.
Okay, we'll do 5. All right. So for anybody watching this, the keyword today is Sean helped me out. And so the first 5 people to comment Sean helped me out will be getting specific strategy sessions with Sean, who took $500 in ads and turned it into 60 leads, 40 appointments, and $90,000 in revenue. He's a real life owner and operator of 2 dental clinics. And he's specifically building out the right way to turn dollars into lead sales and ROI. So the first 5 people to comment, Sean helped me out, we'll be getting it. I will be announcing them later. I see the first 5. I can't see who said it because of BeLive, but the first 5 people will be getting an intro between me and Sean. And you guys can figure out a separate time, things like that. Sean, I wanted to say it was absolutely fantastic talking with you. I know we've been emailing back and forth, but it was really, really cool for you to reach out to me and say, Jeff, not only did I take it, but I take it and I ran with it and it just worked. And so that makes me feel super psyched. Was there anything else you wanted to like leave as like a last note before we kind of close out for today?
Basically, you're in Miami, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll see me knocking on the door.
You're gonna love it. We have like a little studio space. There's whiteboard walls. We also have things like that.
Funny. I've got to learn more because I want to take the clinic from where it is now to a mid 7-figure clinic, and it's gonna need the skills of, if anybody can help me, I need help with the marketing because I don't know a lot of it. I will say on a scale of 1 to 10 for Facebook ads, I'm at about a 3-4. I need help.
Yeah.
And if I can help people, like I said, I'll help 5 people without any question whatsoever, no problem. Fantastic. Because I've learned a lot from your videos that you do. I've learned a lot from the stuff that you talk about. So I'm more than happy to give back.
Fantastic. Sean, I appreciate the time. I'm going to end the broadcast. Look out for it. Again, thanks so much. And